Hi, everybody. I'm Kiana Randall, and I'm the Team 1 researcher for the Toulmin Model Project. Okay, so let's talk about who created the Toulmin model. So the Toulmin model was created by Stephen E. Toulmin and is named after him, the creator. And this is a picture of Stephen Toulmin and a picture of the Toulmin model. So, who is Stephen Toulmin? You might have seen him on one of your English textbooks, or you might have even heard about him in high school English class. Stephen Toulmin was born on March 25th, 1922, in London, United Kingdom. Sadly, he passed away on December 4th, 2009, in Los Angeles, California. And Stephen is a British philosopher and educator. He's also a well known author, and he's responsible for a lot of textbooks that we use today. So this is a picture of London where his home is. So let's talk about his background. Stephen was a doctor of philosophy and he earned his doctorate in 1948 from Cambridge University. He held several professorships at several different universities, like University of California. He even professored at Cambridge, Columbia University, Michigan State, International Relations University, Stanford University, University of Chicago. So he was a well established professor. He even served as a head of the Department of Philosophy for the University of Leeds in 1955. He received the Australian Doctorate for Science and Art. He's a award recipient for that. I don't have a picture of him with his award, but I have a picture of the award on the screen. And he even was a German junior scientific officer in World War II, and he was on the German side of the war. So let's talk about his works other than the Tollem model. So his works got inspired after he met Ludwig Wittgenstein, who was an Australian philosopher. When he met him, he was inspired to create several books. I put three of his most popular books. The middle one, The Uses of Argument, is probably the one that many of us have seen. I know I have definitely seen it throughout my English classes, and because of that book, we have what we have in our classes, like our curriculum and stuff. So his works are well known. We just don't necessarily know the face behind the works. So he's the author of several books and he created the Tola model. The Tola model is his most infamous work. But thanks to Ludwig Wittgenstein, we have the works of Stephen Toulmin. So the Toulmin model was created to exhibit the Toulmin method based on his argument theory. His argument theory was that every argument begins with three fundamental parts: the claim, the grounds, and the warrant. And based on that theory, he created the Toulmin model in order to help writers, researchers, and students create an argument that was strong and clear. So let's talk about the parts of the Toulmin model. So the Toulmin model has 6 parts. There's the backing, the warrant, the grounds, the qualifier, the claim, and the rebuttal. And he designed this based on his argument theory. And he believed that these steps would help students, speakers, writers, lawyers, whoever needs to create an argument. He believed that those steps were crucial for creating and establishing a strong, clear argument. So let's talk about the uses of the Toulmin model. So who can use it? Research and writers, also students, doctors, lawyers, politicians. Anytime you need an argument, you can use the Toulmin model. So how can you use it? You use the Toulmin model to identify and analyze sources, and the basic elements of arguments being made. And you can even use it to test and critique your own argument. So the benefits of the Tollman model. Professors, business leaders, and various professionals can use this model to assess individual components of their argument to ensure that what they say makes logical sense. So the purpose of the Tollman model is to help you create a logical sounded argument. So that is the benefit of the Tollman model because it literally helps you create a clear and soundful argument. So what were the arguments like before the Tollman model? So after doing a little research, before 1958, when the Tollman model was created, there were arguments that lack structure, clarity, and sometimes validity, due to not having that structure to create an argument. Professionals and writers would struggle to make things understandable. So I put a picture of a blurry walkway, right? So you can see the idea, but it's blurry. You can see that there's people, so the idea is that there's people, but it's very, very blurry, and you can't really see the full picture of what you're supposed to be seeing. And that's exactly how arguments were at that before the Tollman model was created. You can see what they were trying to say, but it lacked logical sense, and it was frustrating because things just were not clear and pretty understandable. So here are some critical questions for the audience, and I have one answer for one. So how does the Toulmin model help critical thinking? So it helps critical thinking because it requires active thought. When you're using this model and you're writing out an argument, you are having to activate your brain and critically think. And you're also having to think with your own logic. So it definitely does push one to critical think in order to create their argument. So my question for you guys in the audience that you can drop down in the comments is, how does the Tola model help you as a student in classes? What do you think that you use the Tola model for in your everyday life, or when you're writing essays, papers, maybe in a speech class? And also, have you ever used the Tola model? Um, so that's my questions I have for you, but feel free to answer in the comments below. And that's all I have for you all today. Thank you for listening.